Hello everyone, I'm Leslie Conwell with the Tippecanoe County Historical Association. I work as the Feast of the Hunter's Moon event manager and also the program director for TCHA. We're going to take you into some of the inner workings of TCHA and show you what it is we do to help promote and, most importantly, preserve and interpret the history of our wonderful county. We've got a tremendous staff. Rather than me going around and telling you about everything we do, we are so proud of the staff that we have here at the Historical Association, and I thought that they might enjoy giving you a tour of their area of expertise. It's been a difficult year with COVID-19. We faced some challenges with the Tippecanoe County Historical Association like everyone else has. Last week, for instance, we had to cancel our biggest fundraiser, the Feast of the Hunter's Moon. This would have been its 53rd year. It's never been canceled before, and it provides 68% of our annual operating income. So we want you to know how important the history of the county is, how vital it is to preserve it and interpret it and get the community involved in our history. And we thank the Community Foundation for all that you have done to support us in the past. And we are dedicated to carrying on the safe collection care and interpretation during these difficult times. So again, our thanks to the Community Foundation, and we invite you now to meet some of our tremendous staff.
Welcome to the Tippecanoe Battlefield Museum. I'm Rick Conwell, Museum Manager for Tippecanoe County Historical Association, and we have operated this museum and history store here for 30 years in partnership with Tippecanoe County Park and Recreation Department. So this is a museum that is dedicated in part to the history of the Battle of Tippecanoe, but also to early Indiana history, particularly territorial history. And come along with me and I'll show you a couple of the exhibits we'll walk through. Part of the museum, these first two exhibits are archaeological materials that have been excavated in this vicinity, particularly this area around the confluence of the Tippecanoe and Wabash rivers, which was the site of the early French and Miami town of Tippecanoe, later the site of Prophetstown in the 19th century. We have a lot of things representing the prehistoric and early historic period there. As we go on through the museum, we come to the rise of Tenskwatawa, the Shawnee prophet, and his nativist revival movement, along with his brother Tecumseh, who founded Prophetstown on the Wabash in 1808, and which led eventually to the battle that took place here. There are various exhibits, early surveying and the Northwest Territory during the Revolution, and so forth. Here is an exhibit attempting to show what things might have looked like living in Prophetstown. A wigwam on the back wall, both an exterior and interior view, a man and woman with a warrior preparing himself for battle, and just a general little scene for looking at what things might have looked like in the town in the early 1800s. Over here in the corner is one of the few remaining artifacts from the actual site of Prophetstown, is this wooden bowl and part of a copper trade kettle that were collected on the original site. Very little remains of the original site because of agriculture and flooding and those kinds of things. But we're constantly trying to upgrade and evolve our museum and make it better for tours and programs and tell the story of the history of this area to visitors in the best way that we can.
So Rick, are there quite a few more exhibits too that they could enjoy if they come in person?
There are more
see?
exhibits. We probably don't have time to go through them right now. But we invite you to come out, and normally we're open 6 days a week, and come out and take a look at what we have here.
Greetings to our friends at the Community Foundation. I'm Leslie Conwell, the acting director of the Tippecanoe County Historical Association, also the Feast of the Hunter's Moon event manager. And we wanted to bring you right up to our site so that you could see the wonderful imperative work that the Community Foundation has done. Over the last couple years, the Community Foundation has helped us with the restoration of something that is extremely important to Tippecanoe County and the residents here. This is the Fort Weotnon Blockhouse out on South River Road, and it in itself is a collection item for the Historical Association, if you will. It was built in 1930 by Dr. Richard B. Wetherill, when he thought, after doing a lot of surveys in this area, that this is probably the most likely place for the original site of Fort Weotnon. Fort Weotnon was in this area from 1717 to 1791, and many cultures passed through here during that time. This blockhouse has now stood for 90 years. And it's quite a community icon. It's a feature at the Feast of the Hunter's Moon, is in the center of everything we do. Lots of school tours and programs have happened here through the years. We've had a museum that operates up in the top, and then we've also have programs, including a great program this weekend. But by this time, 90 years later, it was really starting to show some wear. Come with me, and I'll show you some of the improvements that the Community Foundation has helped us with. Kelly, our curator of collections, is videotaping for us. And thank you, Kelly. And one of the first projects that you folks did was helped us replace the roof. Originally in 1930, the roof was done with wood shakes. When we made the decision to replace the roof, we instead used shingles, because this blockhouse is interesting in that it's supposed to be a period reproduction, but in itself it has its own history. So that was done. The firebox was redone. We'll see that when we go inside. You can come on around here. The entire structure was washed here with the help of the Community Foundation this summer. I could not personally believe it. I've been around the blockhouse for 45 years, and I couldn't believe the change. And then they started going through to see where some insect damage was. That's a natural annoying thing as the years progressed. So the insect issue was treated best we can to preserve these logs. And then also some special epoxies were put in some of the cracks that were facing up and that were collecting water. So this will keep water from getting deep into the wood. It was also re-chinked in many areas. This was critical because as the years have gone by, the chinking, it just wears like any other house, if you will. And so we had the chinking redone. We'll go ahead and walk around this way too. You'll notice that all the shutters were taken out, and were treated and placed back on. Again, some of the chinking was done here. And let's go inside now, take a look. You'll have to excuse our mess. We're still cleaning up and getting it back into place here. But this is another area that's just has a remarkable difference to look at, all due to the Community Foundation's help so that we could preserve this community icon. You can see certain areas where there have been treatments to keep the water out. Again, the bug issue is just absolutely vital. And Community Foundation funds also helped us to reconstruct the firebox. When it had been done 90 years ago, it was not as well done as we would like, and it sent a lot more of the smoke out here than it did up. So this has just been a tremendous project for us. The Community Foundation funds were absolutely vital to restoring this community icon. And we hope that you are proud of what we are doing here in interpreting the many different cultures, Native American, French, American colonial, British, that passed through this area and contributed their history to Tippecanoe County. So again, our profound and thank yous, because you have helped preserve an important icon of Tippecanoe County.
Hi, my name is Kelly Lippy, and I'm Curator of Collections for the Tippecanoe County Historical Association. TCHA actually has one of the largest collections of historic material for any county-level organization in the state of Indiana. That means we're responsible for thousands and thousands of artifacts, books, historic documents, and photographs that help tell the story of Tippecanoe County. And this collection is growing every year because we're still making history every single day. One of our big responsibilities is to make sure that this material is accessible to researchers and in exhibits every day here at our research center and at all of our sites, so it is accessible to the community today and 100 years from now. To do that, we want to make sure that all of this historic material is kept in the best possible conditions. To do that, we have to provide archival quality storage materials, and we have to take care of the environment, making sure that the temperature and humidity are at optimal levels, that we keep the areas clean of pests like insects and rodents, and we have to be concerned with the security of the material, making sure that some of the valuable things are always kept in the most secure locations, and ensuring that all of this material is handled properly so there's no damage from improper handling by researchers or by volunteers and staff right here on location. One of the ways the Community Foundation has helped us out in our efforts to preserve local history happened just a few years ago when the air conditioner unit that serves our archival room went out during the hottest days of the summer. The Community Foundation, we applied to them for funding, and in just a few days, you came through. We were able to get a new air conditioner unit installed, returning cool, dehumidified air to the archives and helping bring all those conditions back to safe levels that will help us keep those documents preserved for many years to come. So our efforts here continue on in all of our sites to make sure that all these fun things you see around me will be here for many generations. So thank you.
Hi, I'm Amy Harbour. I'm a member of the Board of Governors of the Tippecanoe County Historical Association, and I'm also the library coordinator here in the Alameda McCullough Research Library. We are really fortunate to have a number of very old documents that we got from the county, and we keep them here in our library and we take care of them so that researchers can come and look at them. If you want to follow me, I'll show you some of the things that we have here. Back here in the back, we have court books that span from 1826, when the county was formed, or 1825, I guess, until about the 1990s. So they include circuit court, common pleas court, superior court, all the way back to the beginning of the county. And we have these mostly indexed, so if people have the name of a family or a person that they want to research, we can look them up and see if there are any court cases pertaining to them. We also have, in file cabinets here, we have family files with surnames of any family that we have research on, so that's a lot. We also have the estate files going back to the beginning of the county. So anyone who died here, if they had any property at all, whether they had a will or not, we have estate settlement files. And these have fascinating bits of information in them, going all the way back to pushing 200 years now. Again, these are all indexed, so people can come in and search for a family member or any kind of person they're looking for. We also have original marriage records going back to the very first marriage in 1826 in Tippecanoe County. Marriage records have a wealth of information on them. In some cases, they list the parents' names, depending on the year. They have applications, so in addition to the marriage license, which is signed by the court and by the person who performed the ceremony, we have application by the female and application by the male. We also have deed records, we have old maps, we have all kinds of land records. We have a good selection of genealogy reference material pertaining mostly to Indiana, but also various other states that people from Indiana tended to migrate from.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us at the History Center at 522 Columbia Street. I'm Leslie Conwell, the Feast of the Hunter's Moon event manager, and then also the program director for TCHA. We wanted to bring you into the History Center so you can see some of the good work that the Community Foundation did. TCHA purchased this property several years ago. It's the former home of the Masonic Lodge, and it needed some updating, quite a bit actually, before we could open it as a public facility for programming for the community and for rentals. One of the things we really needed to bring up to speed was the commercial kitchen. This is a wonderful facility because it will enable us to raise funds by doing rentals and also by cooperating and working with other nonprofit entities in the community so that they can join us here and use the facility. The grant that you gave us was just wonderful because it enabled us to bring everything up to code so that the kitchen would pass and be safe for everyone here at the History Center. There's so much to see here. We've got an auditorium, we have a banquet hall, we've redone the restrooms. Right underneath our feet, where you cannot see, are collection storages. That's where we put quite a few of our collection pieces, and we know that they're in a safe environment that's climate controlled. So we'd like to thank you for your support of the History Center too, with grants, and we invite you to come see us.